Hey guys, Explorer4 here, Horrorboy465. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today we're continuing the reviews on the Friday the 13th franchise with my review of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Now, I'm probably going to be showing this DVD in the majority of the review because I believe I showed that DVD in the review before this. But Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives is a film from 1986, is a 5.9 on IMDb. Directed by Tom McLaughlin, who's director of One Dark Night. That's also a film I really want to watch as well. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard about it. And yeah, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives is of course obviously the sixth film of the franchise. And this is a movie that I can still say is one of my favorites. I still really enjoy this movie. I find a lot of stuff in this movie to be very fun and enjoyable. It's easily one of my favorites, and I really enjoy it. But the story of Part 6 pretty much ignores Part 5, which we'll get to my opinions on that in a second. It pretty much ignores the story from Part 5, and basically it starts off with Tommy and his friend. I believe people are calling him like Rorschach or something like that. He's from a TV show, I guess. A TV show that I have not seen yet. So that's why whenever I've seen other reviews, people say, oh, it's Rorschach, or whatever his name is. And it's like, maybe it's because I haven't seen that show. Maybe I need to, so I can get updated on that. But I'm not familiar with that TV show. But Tommy Jarvis in this film. And this film, he's played by Thom Mathews, who I believe was from Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead 2, and Blood Match. And I thought that he did a very good job playing Tommy in this movie. Did a very good job, Thom Mathews. And basically, Tommy Jarvis and his friend, you found they have escaped some sort of mental institution. And they go to Jason Voorhees' grave. And Tommy digs up Jason Voorhees' grave to pretty much confirm that he's really dead. He gets like a piece of this fence off, this pole pretty much, and stabs Jason's dead corpse. And a couple of lightning strikes happen on the pole and electrify Jason and bring Jason back to life. And Jason kills Tommy's friend. Tommy gets out of there. Tommy goes to the police station and gets himself in trouble because he ends up flipping out, trying to get guns and stuff like that. The police arrest him, and he's pretty much in this jail cell. And Jason gets out of the grave. He's resurrected, puts the mask back on, grabs this pretty much pole that ends up being a spear, and pretty much goes on a killing spree on his way to Crystal Lake. And in this movie, you have a lot of different things that really make this movie stand out amongst the others. This is a movie that really is a new direction for the franchise. This is like the first movie that really made Jason the main star of the film. Even though he was obviously a focus in the first 5 movies, Part 6, I think what's really awesome about this movie is that Tom McLaughlin wanted to come into this movie and make it a little bit different. He wanted to approach the film in a brand new way, and I can highly respect that. I think it's a very good direction to go. To make Jason the star of the film, to make Jason pretty much, the anti-hero, I guess you would say, or the bad guy that you love, or, pretty much putting Jason in the main focus of the film. So really, this movie is the first movie to do that. Of course, Part 7 and Part 8, and pretty much the movies afterwards would do this. But this is really the first movie that Jason was put in the foreground and was really put in first. And you could actually, the movie focuses a lot on Jason. And I really enjoyed that. I think it's a great idea. I think it's an awesome idea to have this movie be different than just, oh, you do drugs and have sex and you die. I like how Tom McLaughlin, he included nudity, he included teenagers having fun and doing drugs and having sex and stuff, but he also included that extra element, that new element. First of all, you got a zombified Jason in this. It's a much slower Jason. He doesn't really run in this movie, he just walks, but the strength is increased because he's freaking bending people in half and crushing heads, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But Jason in this movie is definitely upgraded. It's Zombie Jason, the introduction of Zombie Jason, which would go on to be, you know, probably one of the best forms of Jason is Zombie Jason. You had a really good actor who played Jason, C.J. Graham. I really enjoyed him playing Jason. Brought a very just menacing role to the film. And Jason in this movie is really unstoppable. I think that's what's awesome about this movie is that this is also the first movie that people have tried to kill Jason, and he's completely unstoppable. In previous films, it was the human Jason. So yeah, he would get stabbed and axed in the forehead, and he got like a machete in the hand, and he always came back to attack. But here, people shoot him in the head. He's been getting shot all over his body. People are trying to kill him, and it's just no effect at all. And so Jason in this movie is very unstoppable. It's a zombified undead Jason, which I really enjoy that. I just love the 80s atmosphere, the 80s rock and roll atmosphere. I love Alice Cooper's Man Behind the Mask. That song is really awesome, and I really love that song. The movie has a very good lighting to it, very decent mood. A lot of the night scenes are actually, decent. I wouldn't say they're as good as the first five. Like, for me, this is when the atmospheres in the movies kind of went downhill, which isn't really necessarily a bad thing because I still love this film. But for me, this and Part 7, in my opinion, Part 8, and even honestly, I love Part 9, but I can't even say with Part 9 and Jason X and stuff is the atmospheres really aren't as good as the first five movies. First five movies I just think personally are just very well shot, have that really great, beautiful atmosphere that can be beautiful and can be also very creepy during night sequences. And here, the atmosphere is decent, but it's not really like that. It does have a bit of a mood to it. There's very good lighting throughout the entire movie. But, it's not really a bad atmosphere. I'm not saying it's a bad atmosphere. It's just, I would kind of prefer the first five movies more. This is when the series atmosphere started getting a little bit changed and not really as good. But, it ain't a bad atmosphere. It does have some decent lighting and stuff. And it has amazing kills. It has a giant body count. If you like nudity in films, you have a little bit of nudity in the films. It is a pretty bloody flick. It's a very fast-paced film. A lot of the Jason movies are fast-paced, except for Part 8. For me, Part 7, believe it or not, and Part 10. Because for me, those are all really slow-moving Jason movies. Like, for me, when that started having to be a problem, would be probably Part 7. And then there'd be Part 8. And then it'd be Part 9. No, not 9. 9 actually went by a fairly decent pace. But I would say Part 10 would also have that slow kind of pace to it, and just in my opinion. But for this movie, it does have a pretty fast-paced atmosphere. It is a pretty fast-paced film. It is a very fun film. I wouldn't say it's as campy and fun as Part 5. For me, I can just put Part 5 in and just have a great time with it. Like, all the way through the movie. This movie has some fun moments. I can't say, like, the whole movie's fun, but it definitely has fun moments that make me laugh, and whether it be the American Express card scene or the tree scene where the guy gets his freaking face smashed into the tree, and when the face moves, it's like a freaking happy face in the freaking tree. That was that was pretty fun. The scene where these guys are out playing, these guys and this girl, they're all playing this paintball thing, and one of them shoots Jason with paintballs, and Jason just sort of like looks at him like, what are you doing? You also had that fun part where when he throws the guy to the tree, he actually ripped his arm off to get the machete. The design of Jason in this movie is decent. The utility belt was decent, where he had the combat knife and the machete holder, and had, like, I think, lawn darts. It may have been lawn darts, I believe. Or knives. I don't know if it was knives or lawn darts, but he had it, like, right here. I just like that idea of the utility belt having these different, you have the machete right here and the combat knife here. So it gave it to where there's a new look for Jason. For some reason, he has gloves. I'm not really too sure about that, but they gave Jason gloves. The mask is decent. The overall zombified look was pretty decent. I prefer Part 7 a little bit more. Honestly, I prefer Part 8 to look a little bit more. Part 9 to look a little bit more. However, this one it's definitely not a bad look for Jason. For Zombie Jason, the first look for Zombie Jason. And the kills are actually pretty good in the film. I mean, you got a guy who gets a freaking combat knife to the freaking side of the head. There's a girl who gets her face, because they're in this RV type thing, and she gets her face pushed through the wall, and it like imprints outside of the vehicle. So Jason just pushes it, and you see the face just forming outside of the RV. It was a really cool death scene. There's a death scene where a guy gets his freaking head crushed. One guy gets a freaking, I don't know if it's a knife or a lawn dart, gets thrown like right in his head. It may have been a knife or something like that, or a lawn dart. I'm not too sure. But he gets like something like a knife or something like that thrown right into his head. The guy who's sort of like the lead girl's dad, he's the sheriff pretty much. He gets freaking bit in half, and his back he's pretty much folded back, and you can hear the sound effects. It's definitely a very crazy death scene. This one girl gets her head twisted off. Another girl, you don't really see the death scene. You see blood get squirted on the window, and she gets thrown to the window and drugged back into the house or the cabin, whatever. Trying to remember what else there is. There's like a freaking, I think it's a triple beheading, where there's 3 people walking, and Jason just freaking just appears, and a triple decapitation scene with a machete. Awesome scene. And then there's a scene where this guy and this girl are on this motorcycle, and Jason just comes up with a machete and just stabs them both. There's a scene where Jason breaks a bottle and stabs one of the guy. I think he stabs him in the neck. The innkeeper or something like that. The guy who tends the graveyard. He gets like a freaking broken glass bottle in his throat. The beginning of the movie, I guess Rorschach, I think that's how you say it. From that TV show I'd never seen. He gets a hole punched through him, and Jason actually has his heart. Like, he punches it, and his heart's on his hand, and he just freaking pulls out, just freaking punches a hole right through the guy. Let's see now, what else is there? I think that's about it, honestly. I think so. That's about it, honestly. I really can't remember anything else. That's probably about it. But Tommy in the movie is very good. I honestly don't know. I'd honestly prefer Part 5's Tommy, because that one I got more into. Part 4 was kind of a really good Tommy as well. But I don't know. For me personally, I'd prefer Part 5's Tommy a little bit more. But Tom Matthews did a great job playing Tommy. He fought back. He was determined to kill Jason. The final battle between him and Jason was pretty cool, where he puts the chain around Jason's neck and pretty much puts him at the bottom of the lake. And Jason tries to grab him, and they run to the freaking boat, and just, leads to the 7th movie where he has the giant gash in his mask right here. And the movie ends with The Man Behind the Mask by Alice Cooper, which is a really awesome song. For me, Part 6 is a very fun film. I mean, there's not much more else I can say about it other than I really enjoy it. It's a fun film with a fast-paced Friday the 13th movie. It's still a fun film. I wouldn't say I like it more than Part 5. And I actually got to get on that real quick. For me personally, Part 4 and Part 6, I think that, especially with this movie, ignoring Part 5's plot line, which was kind of like, when I heard about that, I was like, oh man, because I'm a really big fan of Part 5. But this movie really does, it just overshadows Part 5 a lot. And Part 5, as a result of that, kind of gets overlooked, because you have Part 4 and Part 6, and Part 6 kind of ignores Part 5. I think that Part 6 kind of overshadows Part 5. Like, a lot of times people are like, oh, thank goodness they made Part 6 because Part 5 was bad. And I'm kind of like, no, man, I really love Part 5, in general. It's my personal opinion, I love Part 5. So this movie does kind of cast a shadow over Part 5 for me personally. I don't think it's as fun as Part 5 personally. I think it's fun, but not as fun. I wouldn't say I like it more than Part 5, but I think it's still a good movie. That just kind of bugs me sometimes. Just that factor in general kind of, bugs me a little bit. But, And also, real quick, I just noticed this as I was looking over the DVD. This is when the DVD cover started getting really, really bad. And the reason for me that, why I'm kind of bothered by this DVD cover here is because if you guys look closely, that does not look like Jason from the movie at all. The background hockey mask with the light going through it kind of reminds me of the original poster. But even that mask, I mean, this is part 5 mask. Both of those hockey masks are part 5. That looks more like Roy than Jason, honestly. If you see there, once again, it's the giant chevrons. And then also the background mask is also a part 5 mask. I love part 5. Don't get me wrong. I can't get enough of that mask. That mask is awesome. But for it to be on the front cover of part 6, and that looks like Roy. It doesn't even look like Jason. It looks like freaking Roy. To see that, it's like, man, this is really when the covers start going downhill. And you can definitely tell because it doesn't look like Jason. It looks like Roy. It looks like human Jason or Roy. It just looks cheesy the way that it's done. And yeah, personally, as far as these deluxe edition covers, this is when it starts going downhill. But yeah, part 6 in general, I love. I do think it casts a little bit of a shadow over part 5. I think it is a bit overrated. I'm not saying that it sucks. It doesn't suck. It's a really good movie. I really enjoy it. But I do think this movie is a bit overrated. This movie is said to be like, oh, it's better than part 5. And Thanos got this because part 5 sucks so much. It's like, I like part 6, but I honestly have more fun with part 5. It's a good movie. It's a good sequel. But I prefer part 5 more. I prefer part 3 more, part 2 more, even part 1 more. Personally, nothing wrong with you if you like part 6 more than part 5. There's nothing wrong with that opinion at all. It's just my personal opinion. It's just kind of a little bit overrated. But I still really love it. I still really enjoy it. It has some really good kills, good negative effects, good pace, good story, and overall a very good Friday the 13th sequel. But yeah, guys, anyways, that's my review of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. And got that cover right there as well. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. And I'll see you guys on the next review. The Explorer 4 out.